to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in.
This is the end.
Stay strong.
My only friend. The end.
Friday, January 3rd, the Fantasy Footballers. Mike Wright, Jason Moore, Andy Holloway. Back with you, our final episode of the regular season. And week 18, here we are. Good luck.
Yes.
And soon, goodbye.
And soon, goodbye.
Week 18, nasty.
Saw somebody on Twitter asking about, 2-week championship games.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe that's a solution to making week 18 not as detrimental.
Until you have Josh Allen.
Yeah, I was going to say there are just too many significant players sitting. That's the fundamental problem. It would be equivalent to say, championship game is going to be a week where there's 8 buys. You know what I mean? 10 bye weeks. I mean, it just makes the reason we don't like it. It's not like we don't like more fantasy football.
Yeah, we love fantasy football.
And obviously 10% of you are in those games. And look, if you have to choose between a week 18 only championship game
and not playing
or a 17-18 combo, that's the 17-18 combo is better because you're removing half of the value.
Yeah.
But it would be a lot nicer if you weren't playing this week, just because it's
we're good, man.
Yeah, no, we're here.
Let them eat their cake.
Yeah, well, you got 10% of people. We got to get titles today, so we've got more matchups to talk through. We got some news to talk through. We got reminders. If you're a champ, go to shopballers.com, grab that FootClan title swag, wear it proudly. If you need a trophy, that's fantasychamps.com. Put a trophy and a ring in your cart. Use the code FREERING, and you'll get a free $59 championship ring along with your trophy purchase. You can check that out as well. And it is Friday.
FootClan Friday.
All right, today's winner of a $100 gift card to fantasychamps.com. Hopefully you need the swag over there. Can you give me a Drake? That is the username over on jointhefoot.com. Congratulations. We give away a $100 gift card each and every week to somebody supporting the podcast. And huge shout out to the entire Foot Clan, by the way. The 40,000 strong at jointhefoot.com, supporting the podcast, getting access to premium content, including an extra episode every week, which will be very valuable when you get to next week when we drop the 2 main shows.
And they become very fun in the off season. It's not just start-sit questions. We get deeper on both strategy and nonsense.
So thank you, everybody, supporting the show, and congrats to Can You Give Me a Drake? The winner.
Give me a Drake.
The winner. That's where you went? Okay.
Where else would I go? Where were you going to go?
Will you Drake me off a piece? Okay.
It's not bad. All right, let's talk news.
News and notes from around the league. Presented by USAA Insurance.
If you're going to do a Week 18 title game, you should have a redraft of the teams between the 2 champions.
Oh, that would be...
And they only get to pick Lions or Vikings.
Well, they only would choose that of their own volition, but that's actually a good idea. Whoever gets to the championship, if you're in Week 18... those 2 rosters.
Just take your team and throw it in the garbage.
You take those 2 teams, all the roster, and you have to draft those 2. Those 2 players draft. Oh, I get Goff. No one's taking Barkley.
No, they're not, because he's not going to play. Saquon will be forgotten in history now. No one will ever remember his name.
What a loser.
Justice Hill is out with a concussion. The Browns? They've decided to go with
Zap, zap, zap.
Zap, zap, zap. Bailey Zappi, not Dorian Thompson-Robinson, because they wanted to see how bad the line would get. It got to 20. It's at Baltimore minus 20.
Yeah, I think I saw the The Browns projected for 10 points at one point in time, which is insane. Yeah, generous.
Chase Brown, T. Higgins, questionable for the Bengals start this week.
Yeah, Chase Brown didn't practice all week, and they elevated Kendall Milton, not Minton, Milton. So that's usually a sign that they're getting ready to be without their starting running back.
Rome Odunze, DMP with an illness. Players rarely miss with illness, so he should be out there. Christian Watson, DMP on Thursday with a knee. He probably will miss. Josh Jacobs, limited. Tony Pollard, limited because Tony Pollard hasn't practiced in 6 months.
No, but he is still close enough to a couple of really important incentives. I know he's going to push to play.
That's the perfect incentive situation.
Yeah.
That game. Couple teams need to lose. Nothing going on. Just get guys their monies.
We'll say the Josh Jacobs was asked about playing, and he said, yeah, I'm probably seeing less work this week.
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Tajay Spears was a DMP dealing with the concussion, so snip, snap with that running back room. Anthony Richardson, DMP again on Thursday.
Yeah, he's not going to play. I mean, it would take a lot, and all the first-team reps are going to Flacco, so I think the expectation there, obviously, with their implosion last week, they're out of the playoff running. There's no reason to bring a hurt Anthony Richardson into this game.
That was today's news and notes presented by USAA Insurance. Learn more at USAA.com/insurance. We'll talk about some more news in specific matchups on today's show, but let's jump right in.
It's time for Fantasy Forecast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yesterday, we talked about the Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, the 2 Saturday games, and then we got into the Panthers, Falcons, Commanders, Cowboys, Bears, Packers, Texans, Titans, Jags, Colts, Bills, Patriots games, the Sunday games. We'll resume our fantasy forecast with the New York Football Giants, the 3-13 Giants taking on the 13-3 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are still 3-point favorites, despite the fact that they will be resting some players this week and probably starting a third-string quarterback. The over-under is just 37.5.
Yeah,
this is not an easy game to.
Tanner McKee was slinging. Man.
Tanner McKee?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, right?
On his 4 throws.
This is true.
It's I know we know the math, but to actually see it in someone's game log, his touchdown percent was 50.
So I'm seeing this picture of Tanner McKee, and my first thought was he is kind of challenging Davis Mills for the
neck.
The neck?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
and then I see the note from Kyle, and he says, challenging Davis Mills and Mike Glennon for longest neck.
All right.
Which is one of the features of a backup quarterback.
We need to slap one of those on Kyler.
Yeah, let him see over that line.
Oh, my gosh. Kyler, if he was that – yeah, that would be –
I know that the you could extend your shins.
Can you extend your neck?
That's what I'm at. Like the shins is like it's long, it's painful.
I'd extend it all.
I don't think so, man. I think
shins and neck.
As fast as he runs, that thing would just be left behind.
What about a super long arm? Like a Space Jam arm.
I don't think that helps him to see over the line.
He won't see, but he won't get the passes batted down.
Fair.
None of this really seems possible. Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors.
With that attitude.
Neighbors reception lines at 6.5. Mike.
Yeah, I like it.
You're in on that. Tyrone Tracy rushing yard line at 50.5. Those two guys deserve the opportunity to just put it on display in this game.
Yes.
And they'll be facing some backups or, rotational players in Philly. This is why Week 18 is tough, though. I mean, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Why would those guys be out there? They're dealing with problems anyways. You got to get Barkley, Brown, Smith, and Hurts healthy.
So the question becomes, I think,
it's Jahan Dotson time is what I'm saying.
Oh, baby.
The question is, this is a bad Giants rush defense, right? Both over the last 6 weeks, the whole season. They're second worst. They give up the most fantasy points. So I know it's not a star-studded cast, but can a Kenneth Gainwell or Will Shipley? People are going to have to play some of the backups on these teams. I know, Andy, you brought up so far Blake Corum, Ray Davis as two rookies who are going to inherit a workload this week, presumably. Does Kenny Gainwell?
To me, it's more the Shipley shot.
You think so? You think they'll rest Gainwell?
I think Gainwell is, he'll be used, but also part of that starting rotation that they do utilize him? I don't know. I'd give Shipley a shot.
That's the problem. I'd love to play one of them.
But you don't know who.
I have no idea. I mean, like Gainwell is the vet. He's the true backup. Will Shipley he's barely played at all.
Yeah, he has not done much.
This is true. That's why it's more difficult.
I think it would be Kenneth Gainwell. You can't rest. I mean, you were talking about this off air, Andy, about some of the great coaches that were saying when you rest your team, it's not like you can't play the game. And you have to have starters play.
Dan Campbell, John Harbaugh, and Bill Belichick just talked about the fact you can only, you got to dress a certain amount of players, which means you have to choose who you actually make inactive, and the other guys, you need to give them a fair shake at being out there with players that can help them around them. So, yeah, Gainwell would probably be the better bet. New Orleans 5-11 taking on the 9-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the Buccaneers have the second highest total of the week, implied point total, at almost 29. They're 14-point favorites, which, look, if it wasn't for that one Baltimore game, this would be the storyline and how big of favorites the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. And, New Orleans, it's over. Like, we talked about, Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller both didn't practice. Spencer Rattler, a defense is so excited when he sees that on the other side.
Chris Olave looks like was a full participant, but he's still in protocol, so I can't imagine they bring him back
What's the point?
To a half team.
It would be malpractice.
It would. It feels like that should be illegal.
At the running back position,
right to jail.
Yeah. I mean, you got Jamal Williams is there, but so is 9 opportunities last week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Might as well see what you have in
He's
Clyde.
5 for 20 on the ground. He caught 2 passes for 10 yards.
Yep.
Not against the Bucs. The Bucs rush defense at the beginning of the year looked a little bad. They missed Vita Vea for a couple games, but they've been fantastic.
Yeah, the
last 6 weeks.
matchup stinks.
The matchup is terrible for a running back of that caliber.
Here's how I think this game will play out on the other side. I think, one, the defense will be outstanding. I think they're the best defense of the week, and they'll be dominant. Baker, your start of the week, Jason, and Mike Evans. They will get it done. Evans will get to 1,000 yards. His DK receiving line is 99.5. He needs 85 to get there and 5 receptions. That will happen. Baker, Evans.
He needs 5 receptions, 85 yards for $3 million.
Right. I'm guessing the 85 is what he needs to get to 1,000.
That is to get to the 1,000, yes.
And so that will happen. It is a must-win game for them.
And Baker talked about the record. He came out in a press conference and was saying this is really important to us. But he said winning is most important, but they go hand in hand. If Mike Evans has a great game, we're going to win. So this is get Mike Evans the ball.
Yeah, and this is also a situation where you are just heavy favorites. I think the second or maybe the last third of the game, these guys are not going to be on the field. They'll probably do enough damage in those first 2-3 quarters that you're going to start seeing Sean Tucker salting the game away. We're not going to have Cade Otton. I think Jalen McMillan is putting his best Jahan Dotson rookie season together.
Yeah.
The kind of disproportionate touchdown success. So,
I want to see Mike Evans get like a 70-yard touchdown right away. And then they just do real cheapy. It's like it is fully intentional. We're just padding his receptions.
It
right
is
now.
nice they have to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice that they got to get out ahead of it. But this should be a Tampa Bay whooping in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Kansas City's 5-1. They take on the 9-7 Broncos. The DraftKings Sportsbook line now Denver minus 10.5. The over/under is 40. Carson Wentz. He's going to start.
14.8 implied points for the Chiefs. So there's not a lot of value to like there. I know, Andy, you like Noah Gray because if they're resting their starters, obviously the elder statesman centerpiece of Travis Kelce is not going to get run. So Noah Gray has been good in relief, but it is still Carson Wentz, and that's if it's Carson Wentz for the whole game.
Which I think it will be. I think with Carson Wentz, he did this last year, needed to play for a contract. I think it'll be Wentz. I also think that this is a scary one for Denver. But they should be able to put it together. They should be able to beat them, but it's divisional. It's Carson Wentz who, like I said, he'll be motivated. You have enough hodgepodge of wide receivers. They're all not sitting, right? I mean,
I wondered that. I was like, who could you sit?
Juju should be out there. I would think Hollywood, they'd want more snaps for Hollywood in the regular season.
Xavier Worthy's a rookie, so it's like you're not really resting rookies. So
no, maybe limited snaps for Worthy and Hopkins, but yeah, it's kind of a weird game. On the other side, Bo Nix at home, heavily favored. You can play him.
Yeah.
What do you do at running back for Denver?
Same thing you've done at running back for Denver for weeks is avoid it.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, it's still a good defense. They shouldn't have Chris Jones this week, which is bad for their rushing defense. But I don't expect the Broncos to go out there and put up 35 points against a divisional opponent, even though they're resting some of their starters.
Cortland Sutton, he has a receiving line of 72.5.
He needs 82 more receiving yards to get another $500,000.
And Marvin Mims. Do we have to talk about Marvin Mims?
I don't think that he is. I mean, I guess in a week like this where you might need to start someone, he has been on the field a little bit more, involved more, and he had an end zone target that wasn't just a big breakaway, touchdown that used his speed. It was like actually just an NFL play, which was very uplifting for Marvin Mims believers. I think he's more of a DFS dart throw than someone you'd be putting in.
He's running really hot. Like he's hitting the big plays. The 8 targets last week was.
He has 34.
That's good to see.
34 catches on the season, and 8 of them were last week.
Yeah.
The Chargers are 10-6, and they take on the 4-12 Las Vegas Raiders. Chargers 4.5-point road favorites. The over/under is 41.5. The Chargers can improve to the 5 seed if they win and the Steelers lose against Cincinnati. That seems
it's possible.
Very possible.
And important because presumably right now the 5 seed would be playing against the Houston Texans. The 6 seed would be playing against the Baltimore Ravens. And
that is massive.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those like you feel like you're getting half a bye.
I think everybody wants to go to Houston. If you have to choose a division winner to play, Houston is by far what is the what was the picture we kept using with you with the 2 dragons?
The 3.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the name
King
of the
Ghidorah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they are the goofy face
Yeah.
of the division winners. The Chargers, in that case, it's a little surprising they're only 4.5-point favorites.
Yeah, they're on the road.
Yeah, the Raiders are still.
Is the Steelers game?
The pictures up.
Is the Steelers game before the Chargers game? Because maybe that's part of the line.
I believe so.
If it's Kyle, can you confirm the timing of those games? Because
I thought the Steelers are Saturday.
Okay, so that makes so much more sense because there's a chance Steelers just win and this game is non-consequential for the Chargers. So there's a hedge there in the line. So the Chargers, Herbert, Dobbins is Jason's start of the week. Ladd McConkey, still limited, been dealing with injury all year. He's going to play. Will Disley, Mike, you like him this week?
I do. It's a good matchup. The Raiders across the season are dead last against tight ends.
There is question marks on the other side. Amir Abdullah had a big game last week, but is not practicing.
Yeah, so we were worried at the very end of that game. He got injured. We didn't hear anything about it right after the game. I didn't see anything on Twitter. But the fact that he has not practiced at all on Wednesday or Thursday says, I don't think you can go right back to the well with him. And then do you really want to roll out Alexander Madison? I don't know.
I mean, it's wild. Amir Abdullah has hodgepodged his way to 4 top 15 finishes in the last 6 weeks.
Amir Abdullah, the Abdullah Express is currently sitting. This is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is his 10th season, and it's his best fantasy finish.
Oh, gosh.
It's the best fantasy finish of his career in season 10.
He got stuck with that Detroit Lions stank. There was the run of
the career,
the run of the running backs where it was so much hope for them, and
he isn't
nothingness.
He isn't a prototypical 3-down back either. So he definitely settled into kind of a focused role. Brock Bowers,
he's
reception line 7.5, 9 receptions from breaking the record. if I was the Raiders, this would be my one sole focus of the game, would be getting Brock Bowers, Pro Bowler Brock Bowers, the opportunity to break this record.
Which would be incredible. And just so that we're clear, that is not the rookie record, which he has already broken.
This is the all-time record at tight end.
Correct.
As a rookie. What an accomplishment that would be.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is. He is. He is just magnificent. All right, we'll take a break. Talk some more matchups. Seattle 9-7, Rams 10-6. DraftKings Sportsbook line Seattle -6.5 over under 39. Why is Seattle favored like that? Well,
the Rams are trying to lose.
The Rams don't need to play their starters.
Rams don't care, and I know that Seattle has like essentially nothing on the line, but getting to 10 wins for a club, I think,
and a rookie head coach,
I think it's pretty important.
Not only that, but 10 wins is part of big, massive payouts for Geno Smith. I believe he's 183 passing yards away, and if he gets to 10 wins, it's a massive payout. So there is incentive for the Seahawks here, and the Rams are going to be resting guys.
Geno needs 185, but he's got and he needs to hold his completion percentage.
So JSN.
Is this good money? Is this good money for Geno so he can, go retire someplace? I mean, are they going to move on from Geno Smith? Because this was a bad season for Geno Smith. When you go 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, third straight year dropping your touchdown numbers, throwing more picks.
I mean, it's
it's
hard to
a
criticize.
Strange season, yeah.
I mean, if they win, they're 10 wins. That's a solid.
And their
season.
defense has been like weird. It's a weird defense.
Started the season okay.
Sometimes they're fantastic. Sometimes they're really, really bad. And they're overall you're in a tough spot with Geno because he is still a capable quarterback. 10 wins is 10 wins.
He's a quarterback where you're like, he's not a bad quarterback, but you also know you won't win a Super Bowl with him.
Right.
Not as likely.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, impossible. I mean, I guess he could be the backup and come in and
Sam
Nick
Darnold, it's impossible.
Hey, all right, Sam Darnold's the trump card forever because he's apparently figured it out.
Look, the Sam Darnold.
Can you win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
2 years ago, you would have said impossible.
Also, don't know about those two yet. Like the playoffs are all that matter for those players. You can get to the playoffs with a good record, and then it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Kyler, you remember Cardinals 11 wins, was it? 10 or 11 wins with Cliff.
Oh yeah.
They get to the playoffs, they fold,
imploded.
Will Sam Darnold step up in the playoffs? Will be the question. You probably look at Geno at this stage of his career and say, at some point you got to say, is this the guy that we want to build the foundation of the team around? I don't know. I'm not saying it's the answer is no.
What I'm saying
definitively.
is it's really difficult because look, you're a 10-win team. What do you do? If you keep Geno next year, you're going to win enough games that you're not in the quarterback sweepstakes, and you're just kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you can never fully commit to a rebuild at the quarterback position.
The fact that they won 10 games and they've got a new head coach this year that wants to improve and get better, I can't imagine that they would look to
He's a free agent,
start
though, right?
over and rebuild.
Is he?
I don't know.
He has one more year.
Yeah,
one more year. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys are probably right. I don't know how happy DK Metcalf was with this season. It's a pretty rough one for Metcalf. JSN had the breakout. Tyler Lockett wants to keep playing, and we know they re-upped him money-wise.
The thing for DK is, like, if everyone on the team is having a terrible, terrible year, then you go, oh, it's the quarterback, it's the offense, it's the team. But one of the wide receivers had a true breakout year, so DK's got to look in the mirror and figured out what happened.
The cap hit for Tyler Lockett's $30 million.
What have they done?
So he will be gone. He will be cut.
What?
Yeah, dead cap.
That's not the dead cap.
Dead cap is only $4 million.
Okay.
Cap hit is 30. So
that's you have to restructure
Correct.
if you want to stay.
Yep. And Blake Corum on the other side should get the opportunities at running back for the Rams. Jimmy Hansel himself getting the start. Hasn't taken a snap all year. That's Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's still in the league.
Yep. Yeah. When Jimmy Garoppolo and Carson Wentz are getting snaps, that's a fun week in the NFL. Puka Nacua, they need to sit him down.
Yeah.
So maybe some Jordan Whittington, maybe some Tutu Atwell, Tyler Johnson action. Yeah. Miami's 8-8. The Jets are 4-12. The DraftKings Sportsbook line, Miami -1. Even though it's a must-win for Miami, the over-under is 39, and the line is indicative of a quarterback issue. We're going to have Snoop Huntley.
Pro Bowler.
Yeah, 2023 Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
I believe I read something about Huntley's started whatever it is.
Oh,
3 games in 4 years. They're always the last game of the season or something like that.
Yeah, it's multiple years of week 17s.
They got to win, but if they win and the Chiefs manage to pull off the upset against Denver, which is it's always possible with a rookie quarterback behind center. Things change. That one I'm not going almost upset, but it's close. I think the Chiefs will cover.
I mean, they're a 15-1 team, and it's not just because of Patrick Mahomes, and they can't sit everybody. They're
non-Pro Bowler Patrick Mahomes.
That makes it's so weird how Patrick Mahomes has turned into a heel for everybody.
Yes.
Because it makes me happy that he didn't make the Pro Bowl, but I've always loved Patrick Mahomes. He's awesome.
Yeah.
You just get tired of it.
You do.
You
do get a little bit tired of it.
And it's 3,900 yards and 26 touchdowns.
Yeah, that is definitely part of it. If he was out there throwing 5,050,
then everyone would
Joe
love
Burrow,
him.
yeah, we would love him. Come on, step it up.
If he was an MVP candidate for sure. And look, I don't have anything against the Chiefs, but you get a little bit tired of it, and you now watch the games with the filter of bad calls. It's in my head.
Yeah.
The complaining has biased me
because it seems like they get better calls.
It's the absence of the offense. I mean, we're just a couple years removed from 5,200 yards and 41 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh!
And then the last 2 years, he's right at the same numbers, about 4,000 yards and 26 touchdowns.
No Tyreek.
There's no Tyreek for the first one of those, the big one.
They figured
the
it out.
5,200 and
yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's so weird.
They found a way to just manufacture victories. They're it's easier this way.
Kelsey isn't the same player. So really now you're at the point where it's no Tyreek, no Kelsey.
Yeah, and their defense is good.
You need a superstar. Well, I mean, if Rashee Rice had played the whole year, I wonder what his numbers would be.
And Worthy. I mean, if you go – you better stop him this year, NFL, because you go into next year and you've got Rashee Rice back, Xavier Worthy maturing.
You have Rice at some point.
Right. No Tua. Achane, his rushing yard line is 49.5. How do you feel about Achane?
I don't feel great about him in the games without Tua. He has not been that involved. We've talked about it. He's not the type of back that can go against heavy stacked boxes. So on the ground, rushing-wise, I think I would take the under there. You're hoping that he can get enough receptions. But the receptions, again, have been coming with Tua. So Achane is a guy that you're probably playing in the landscape of this week. They're in a must-win matchup, and he's extremely talented. But I'm holding my breath, and he's not in my DraftKings lineup. If you get to choose from the whole player pool, I'm not expecting a big game from him.
What about the wide receivers with Snoop Huntley? Tyreek had a good game last week. They need to win. Jonnu Smith, of course, the tight end 4 on the year.
What? And doesn't Jonnu have to play every snap in the game to get that money? He's trying to do a Greg Olsen impression.
Yeah, they just gotta win this one.
Has he thought about playing center? Huh?
Devontae Adams reception line 5.5. The Jets are just their aura, their stink aura has an aura. It's double aura. Yeah. Like Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he plays anymore.
This could
who
be
wants
no, who would sign him?
You exchange the trouble that Rodgers is for the value is on the field.
Yes.
And when that no longer becomes the equation of I can tolerate all of that because I'm getting all of this on the field.
Because I'm going to get 4 wins.
Yeah, if you stink on the field and stink off the field, it might be time to walk away. And he said, I'm more resigned to the reality of the situation. I think there's going to be change here. He knows that it's probably his last game.
Yeah.
At least with the Jets. Breece Hall's the RB18.
There's always the Browns, Andy.
Yeah, there is.
They'll make mistake
because
mistake.
That's a stink comparison chart.
Mm-hmm.
In Aaron Rodgers is a breath of fresh air compared to Deshaun Watson.
That is actually
But having
crazy.
them both in the locker room at the same time,
man.
You need for a Super Bowl.
Get the cameras in there. Get the cameras in
Hard
there.
Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
Watson and Rodgers.
Oh, man. That'd be too much.
Oh, man. With Jameis. Bring Jameis back to be the third. Get Jameis in that locker room. I'll sign up for a new subscription. The new Hard Knocks channel, I'll pay for that. Breece Hall, Jason, RB18 on the year, entering 2025 next season, final year of a rookie deal.
He's an RB2.
Are you laughing about Breece?
I laugh. Jason's
just because everything it's tied to Jason.
The way that this man passionately loved Breece Hall, like literally, like one of his own children. That is the amount of care and love that Jason had for Breece Hall, and
it felt like it paid off too. He was the running back 4 last year. He was unbelievably great, so explosive, such a good pass catcher. And I don't know how much is the Jets or the identity or Rodgers or how much is Breece, but he doesn't look that great.
Does this is this a Tennyson? 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Yeah,
it was a good run.
Yeah, I'm happy I loved Breece last year.
Garrett Wilson. Are we cool with these wide receivers for the Jets this week?
The Adams, yeah, because
Adams will be going for numbers.
Yeah, he's going for greatness. Are we where is? Well, there was all that chatter about the 500th touchdown.
He didn't throw a touchdown, so that means it's still chattering. So the next touchdown for Aaron Rodgers should be his 500th, I believe.
Well, I'm just trying to figure it out. Is it actually?
I mean, I can't imagine that it's not, because they talked about it ad nauseum last week. Devontae Adams came out and said he wanted to catch his 500th touchdown.
Oh, I think I know what's going on. Our personal game logs on the fantasy football.
Yeah, we're limited to 10 years.
We go to 2009, and
he's at 499 right now.
Okay,
so I mean,
the fact
if you want to bet a touchdown, Devontae Adams, they might try to force the issue there.
Yeah, and what a great feeling it must be for Garrett Wilson to know that no matter what he does on that route, on the 5-yard line, he won't get the football.
That's why you go steal it.
You just
run the same route.
you play DB.
You cut your route right under his fade, and you go get that touchdown.
You know where the ball's going.
Or he gets the target and just slaps the ball down. No 500. Wow, what a dysfunctional situation. Here are a couple of non-playoff teams playing football. The 49ers at 6-10, the Cardinals at home at 7-9. The DraftKings Sportsbook line, Arizona -4. Over under 42.5. Cardinals favored. Brock Purdy out.
The Pastronaut back in.
Revenge game.
Oh, my God.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs. The Cardinals defense could be a sneaky play this week against Dobbs, but Murray, Harrison. I don't hate Harrison this week. I think if there was one thing you'd want to get going in Arizona at home, you want to get him going. Did you see he made a contested catch last week against the Rams? Did you see that sideline contested? What a guy.
It's there. It's there. That's the number 4 overall pick.
It's there somewhere. Yeah.
I will say with Joshua Dobbs, he might be a sneaky play
because of the rushing.
Because of the rushing. He obviously didn't start, the full season last year, had a couple games with Arizona, a couple games with Minnesota, but he had 5 top 12 performances, and those usually came on the back of 41 rushing yards, 55 rushing yards, 48 rushing yards. He runs. And so that, this isn't a scary, Cardinals team or situation where you go and like, oh, man.
What is the record by Ertz? What's the number?
The receptions?
9 more than Brock Bowers.
So Bowers is at 108. So is it 116 then?
117.
I think 117 would break it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, 117 would break it. So it's not likely, but it's not impossible for Trey McBride.
Just steal it.
McBride's only 4 receptions behind Brock Bowers.
Didn't that happen with
Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram tried last year.
No. There was the year that
oh, that's right. It was Kittle.
Kittle broke it, and then Kelsey broke it right after. Or
yes.
Ertz. I don't remember.
No, it was Kittle and Kelsey, I believe, where Kittle set the record for yardage at the tight end position
earlier in the day.
He held it for a couple hours until Kelsey broke it.
So in this game, are you, do you have confidence with? I mean, Kittle's not been practicing. Purdy is out. Dobbs is starting. I like Garindo because I think they'll just give him the ball a bunch.
And the matchup's there for him.
And then Juwan Jennings, sure.
Jennings.
Pearsall and Jennings, you could spot start.
Yeah,
with fear and trembling.
Yeah, it's
with
not my
Dobbs, there, I'm kind of fine with Dobbs himself because of his rushing. I'm not really loving playing Pearsall or Jennings or Debo.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll hit the exciting Sunday Night Football game. I have one question for you, Mr. Moore. How bad does Jason want this game?
I want this game. This is the game, man. You're talking about the highest over-under that we've seen in a long time. Two teams that are in division, 14 wins, playing for a bye or on the road week 1 of the playoffs.
Minnesota, Detroit.
I want this game.
You want this? You know who this game is more important for? By far, Minnesota. I don't know if Minnesota goes on the road and wins with Sam Darnold in the playoffs, but I think the Lions would. The Lions have been great on the road. So, to me, I've been thinking about this game all week. It's hard to predict Minnesota is going to win by going to Detroit and doing it. I think it's going to be a great game. It's a 2.5-point line on the DK Sportsbook. Both teams got to have it. I want Aaron Jones healthy. They need him for this game to be a game.
Mm-hmm. I did take the Vikings personally.
I'm on that side.
I think the Vikings. I think they win. I'm not calling cover. I'm going win.
I think they win.
And if they played a month ago, pre all of the extra Lions injuries, the Lions were the best team in the league. And
their defense. Listen to these numbers. The last 6 weeks: 32nd against quarterbacks, 29th against wideouts, 18th against running backs, 15th against tight ends, and they can definitely win this ball game. They're favored, obviously. They can win it. They also, I think, they're going to have the more fluid offense at home. It's just a matter of, will the Minnesota defense, the difference between their defense and the Lions, be enough?
Well, the Minnesota defense has not been good in the secondary. That's still one we've targeted. It's very difficult to run on them over the course of the season, but you can throw the ball, and now you match up, ironically, without David Montgomery, the passing work for Goff and Gibbs and Amon-Ra and Laporta, it lines up well. So, this is why the over-under is so high, because you just don't see the way that these offenses match up against these defenses. They're going to score. They're just going to keep doing it.
Game 1 between these two was week 7, and that was the 29-31. Detroit pulled off the win. I think they got it late.
31-29 on a 44-yard Jake Bates field goal with 15 seconds
there it was, right
left. And they blitzed Goff a ton in that game. Look, this game doesn't have a lot of fantasy questions other than the health of Aaron Jones, which, I think he's on the field. We have 3 starts of the week. Jameson Williams by Mike, Jared Goff, and Jordan Addison are my starts of the week in this game. I think you play every player. Gibbs has a DK rushing receiving line of 126.5.
Yikes.
He has gained 10-plus rushing yards on 16.3% of his attempts. It's why Mike had fear from moment
playing against
moment
Gibbs,
1 to the end.
This version of Gibbs in fantasy without David Montgomery is
what if Monty wasn't
awful
there just going into next year? Like, where does Gibbs – does he go – does he threaten McCaffrey or somebody for the number 1 spot?
I would
Barkley.
say so. Like, if you're like, I'm going to draft Gibbs 101. Okay.
That seems like it would be fair enough,
yes.
Right? Because his variance would go away. The goal lines would be the potential loss of – he's such a physical player too. Like Monty is the Cam Scatterboo of the NFL, as I call him.
Nice.
Have you come around on Cam Scatterboo there, by the way, Falcon?
Nah, he's Luka.
Oh, that's quite the comp.
Oh, man.
Yeah, one of the best.
So is he going to Dallas?
No.
Yeah. So
Gibbs only played 52% of the snaps last week because he had the cut on his face.
He missed multiple even before the cut.
Yeah.
Jamar Jefferson and Craig Reynolds were in on goal line snaps. Can you imagine?
52% of snaps, the RB2 on the week.
Yeah. Any other thoughts fantasy-wise on this game? I mean, other than I want this game.
Yeah,
I'm very sad that this is not on the main slate for our next segment.
sure. But I mean,
other than that, no. I mean, I'm thrilled it's an island game. The whole world's going to be watching this.
make sure you have just your dinner and your snacks. Have it all planned out. You don't want to be thinking about that while this game is on.
No, you don't. Focus. Good advice.
Lock
Mike.
in.
Oh, look at this button.
Fantasy Face-Off, presented by DraftKings.
Alrighty, here we go. I managed to take it home last week. 159 to 158. Dominated Mike by a point.
You got me.
Dominated Jason with a pathetic 148.
Loser.
And so you get this button.
Oh, yeah.
Wheel of Shame.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, the look on Andy's face.
Man, I have no idea.
Made me really unhappy just now. All right, spin that wheel.
You got Smuggler Juggler,
Smuggler juggler.
Mall Cop, Jerry Jones.
Toilet
hair
cowboy.
Hair problems.
Oh,
Hair
no.
problems.
Hair problems.
Hair problems. Well, first, let's put this
Okay.
on,
Oh,
Jason.
gross.
Okay.
You got a little-
Is it the hairy chest?
You got a little T-shirt you got to put
Nice.
on there. Not that it's much different than if you just took your shirt off.
He's putting the shirt
Yeah,
on.
take
everyone.
the hat off, Jason, because you've got to put this on.
Okay. All right.
Is
A
this
nice-
the skullet?
No, it's a little Costanza looking. Yeah, there he is.
All right.
Oh, you can come check out the YouTube. You're
good.
looking good. You got
Yeah.
a tan now. Very nice.
Oh, look at that.
You-
Look at that.
Yeah. How the
do have
the tightness of the shirt
this
is really
this is a good look, Jason.
Oh, it's weird because
Hi ho silver.
this is not
not-
where my nipple is.
It is now.
Okay, well let's have a show.
Okay, well, why don't you give us your quarterback for the week, Mr.
Oh
Hair-
no, there's more. There's glasses too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah,
thank you. So that I can't see.
That's
maybe
right.
Maybe they're prescription.
I was gonna say maybe they'll fit over.
I forgot about
Or
the
like
glasses.
some Elvis glasses.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I just took it up a notch, man. All
Very
right.
good look.
I've seen this guy in Vegas.
Yeah.
You walk around the strip, you see this guy a few times.
All right, and now the computer is zoomed. My quarterback is I'm going to go with the start of the week, even if it's 3 quarters. I think Baker Mayfield is cooking in this game and has 3 touchdowns, ton of yards.
I got Baker, 7,000. We all got Baker.
Yep. Laser.
Laser out there. All right, couple running backs, Jay.
So this is the grossest lineup I've ever made. I'm going with Blake Corum at 5,600 and Ray Davis at 5,200. I have punted my running backs off of the bridge.
Well, I have Blake Corum at 5,600 as a running back with Michael Carter at 4,700.
I have Blake Corum and Michael Carter.
So
Okay.
Corum, a wash. Wide receivers, Jay.
Wide receivers, I have Mike Evans,
Yeah.
obviously, is the stack.
Do we
with-
all have Mike Evans?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I have Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors. This is like a pure rookie lineup.
I have Malik Neighbors as well, and I have Adam Thielen at 6,200.
Oh, come on. I have Adam Thielen at 6,200, and then my other wideout is Alec Pierce. At
I almost put him
5,000.
in there. All right, tight end, flex, defense, Jason.
Chigakonkwo at tight end. My defense is the Arizona Cardinals at 2,700 against the Pastronaut. And in the flex, I did a last-second pivot away from my boy Troy Franklin to Jordan Whittington way down at
That happened on the show.
3,300. Yes, it did.
I have Chigakonkwo at 3,800. I went with the most expensive defense on the week. I have the Buccaneers, 3,600, and I have Sean Tucker, who I think will salt the game away for just 4,000.
Okonkwo, I got J.K. Dobbins
Nice.
against the Vegas Raiders at 6,300. Then I have the Denver Broncos
Ooh.
against Carson Wentz.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
3,000.
That was Fantasy Forecast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code BALLERS. That is the code BALLERS, and take advantage of special daily promotions only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Can we get the solo cam, please? How are you not putting the solo cam on there?
This man needs a stogie.
This is how you end the season, right here. You end the season
Thank you, everybody.
with Jason and this spectacular shirt. Wow.
They don't
This is-
shimmy quite as well when they're shirt.
when
When they're
tight.
shirted.
When they're,
Good luck this weekend, Foot Clan. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. 1+ promotion per day. Promotion sport eligibility and requirements vary. Ends December 31st, 2024. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.